The DSM-5, or Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, the 5th edition, defines specific learning disorders as a set of disorders that relate to having difficulty learning and developing certain skills for at least 6 months. First, there's dyslexia, which is difficulty with reading. Then there's dysgraphia, which is difficulty with writing, and dyscalculia, which is difficulty with mathematics. People can have a difficulty with just one of these facets, but they can also show symptoms that span all three. They're considered specific learning disorders because they don't stem from another condition, like an intellectual disorder or a global developmental delay, and aren't due to any obvious environmental cause, like not being taught how to read, write, or do math. Learning disorders are usually diagnosed during the school-aged years, when a child's skill can be assessed and falls below what he or she should be able to do at a certain age. Now, dyslexia affects both oral and written communication throughout an individual's life. These individuals often have trouble identifying letters or words, and that can result in slow, inaccurate, and effortful reading. This often becomes obvious when a person with dyslexia is reading aloud, because they might have to hesitate or guess at words, and they might end up reading without normal intonation or expression. Dyslexia can also cause difficulty with spelling, because a person might add or omit letters by mistake. All this effort with reading means that individuals might also have a hard time understanding what they've read, sometimes missing the deeper meaning of a passage, forgetting the right sequence of events, or being unable to make inferences about what they've read. Now, dysgraphia describes having trouble with writing, specifically poor spelling and difficulty with grammar. Oftentimes, they also have poor handwriting, even though they don't have trouble with other fine motor skills, like, for example, using a tweezers. These individuals might mix print and cursive writing, or misuse upper and lowercase letters, and as a result, their writing is often slow and labored, causing them to get writing fatigue. Dysgraphia can also involve more global writing problems, like having difficulty putting thoughts down on paper, or thinking and writing at the same time, which, as you might guess, leads to writing that lacks clarity and cohesion. Finally, there's dyscalculia, which is where individuals have a poor understanding of numbers, like their magnitude or their relationship to each other. The most common problem is with number sense, and this is an intuitive understanding of how numbers work, and how to compare and estimate quantities on a number line. These individuals often struggle to memorize math facts, like formulas and equations, which makes it really hard for them to manipulate numbers and solve math problems. In general, these individuals struggle to follow mathematical reasoning. They often misunderstand the logic behind steps and therefore have to rely heavily on rote memory. Over time, this difficulty can cause related problems, like not being able to easily measure out ingredients for a recipe, or feeling uncomfortable reading graphs and charts. One important thing to keep in mind for all these learning disorders is that they're not due to a lack of intelligence or desire to learn, and with the right teaching methods, individuals can master all these skills. These individuals with learning disorders often benefit from small modifications to the normal instruction that takes their disability into account. For example, individuals with mild or moderate learning disabilities might benefit from untimed tests, oral testing, or other alternatives to written assignments, like video reports. Individuals with dyslexia might also benefit from having text printed in a specific font, while individuals with dysgraphia often benefit from wide-ruled paper or certain pencil grips. For dyscalculia, playing math-based games and using physical objects that relate to the real world, like using buttons in place of numbers, can help to develop and cultivate a more intuitive feel for numbers. In most of these situations, individuals might benefit from having extra time to practice specific skills, or with one-on-one tutoring. Alright, as a quick recap, specific learning disorders are a group of disorders that include difficulty with reading, writing, and mathematics, called dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia, respectively. They're often diagnosed in the early school years, and are not due to a lack of intelligence or desire to learn, but they can be improved with the use of specific teaching interventions. Thanks for watching. You can help support us by donating on Patreon, subscribing to our channel, or telling your friends about us on social media.